What's up, you guys? Welcome back into iHeartRadio's official wrestling podcast, the Battleground Podcast. It is Battle from iHeartRadio. And this Saturday, you've heard us talking about it all this week. AEW is coming to Philadelphia. They're going to be at the Leah Chorus Center for AEW Collision. And it just so happens on the show today, we have the person who is on the graphic for said show this Saturday. Give it up for Willow, everybody. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Thanks for coming back on the show. I know last time we had you on, we were going into your big fight with Statlander and the Chicago Street fight. Unfortunately, it didn't go the way that we were hoping for. But how do you feel after that? Do you feel like you put that in the past with Statlander now, or is there maybe down the line some unfinished business?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's a rough situation all around, because even though it feels like we did put a little punctuation, we got a little period at the end of whatever we're doing. She is someone who I have so much history with, and is, whether, on my side or against me, she's someone who's close to my heart, right? Because you gotta keep your enemies close too. So I would never say that whatever our relationship is done. Nothing's ever really done.
Right.
But I think for now I'm at peace moving forward and just kind of focusing on my own goals. And she can do whatever she wants to decide. That's not my business right now. But
I mean, has she came and asked you for like any advice? Because I know she's going up against Mercedes here soon. You've dealt with Mercedes. Are you wanting to lend that olive branch out to her to say, hey, watch out for this, this, and this, but do this in return? Or you're just like, nah?
No, she can figure it out.
Hey, you're on your own there for that one. Of course, we're talking about an AEW Collision is in Philadelphia this Saturday, Leah Chorus Center, 7:30 Eastern time. You can still grab your tickets, by the way, allelitewrestling.com. And with so many powerful women in AEW, I would say that the women's roster has been stacked even more with adding Britt coming back, and you've got Camille. What is one storyline or rivalry that you would like to see play out involving you with some of these new talent that's coming in?
That is a great question. I definitely think Camille is an interesting new addition to our division, because you look at her and what's the first thing you think? Like, wow, that is a strong, intimidating woman. And one thing about the AEW women's division is that we do have strong, intimidating, powerful women. So it's fascinating to kind of see where she kind of will fall into place with everything. I mean, I know I was saying I'm done with Stat, but it's interesting to see the role that she's playing between Stat and Mercedes, how that power versus power dynamic plays out. Someone like me who, often pulls from a really power-based moveset, how I would do against someone like Camille. I'd like to see that play out. Yeah, me and Camille.
All right. I think a lot of us wrestling fans would like to see that. Tony, I know that you watch these, so go ahead and book it right now. Let's get Camille versus Willow. And is there a specific kind of match you want it to be, or just a one-on-one match?
I mean, I think a one-on-one's really fun. Another person that comes to mind is we have the returning Jamie Hayter, who I am such a fan of. And I'm happy to see her healthy and back and thriving. I have had one match with her shortly after I got signed at AEW, and I think I mean I know I've grown so much, but I think even in her time away, coming back, this is kind of like a new reinvigorated Jamie Hayter. And I think it would be really fascinating to see how a singles interaction would play out between the two of us, which is, two strong babes thrown
Hmm.
down once again. Yeah, I think that could be fun, a fun one too.
Yeah, Tony, go ahead and give us that match as well while we're at it. So just book both of them. So let's make that happen. Of course, AEW is in Philadelphia this weekend. Collision, Leah Chorus Center, 7:30 Eastern time. You can still grab tickets, allelitewrestling.com. Now, one thing that I have noticed as I'm sitting here watching AEW every week with my 7-year-old, the fans really get behind Willow. Like my 7-year-old
Thank
is a fan of yours as well, and he has asked me numerous times, when can we get her action figure? And I explained that we talked about this last time. We're getting it very, very soon. You've got the
Yeah.
chase figure and everything. What was that specific moment where you felt like, wow, the fans are really with me on this journey right now?
Um, honestly, I I feel very fortunate that every step of the way I felt support from fans. And I know some people like try so hard to get that, and I've been lucky that even if it's like a small rumble, from the time I started with AEW, there was always some noise out there for me. I'm very appreciative. But I don't think I was as moved or aware of how like deep the fans really like rode for me until I had that feud with Mercedes. When I was the TBS champ and she was coming for my throat, the AEW fan base were riding with me. And like you have someone like Mercedes coming in who I mean, has such star power, and she's so much more experienced, so much more world traveled, and to come in with the pedigree that she did, and for fans to still be like, no, that's our girl, that's who we want to see kick your butt. I felt so fortunate, but also it's like I love AEW, and I really did grow up in a way in front of these fans to be this like star that you see in front of you because of you guys. And I think me and the AW fan base feel that way about one another, and seeing it against Mercedes was cool. That was probably the moment for me.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And of course, fans, just a little FYI as I scroll through social media before we start this, Willow does have a new shirt out that everybody needs to go out and buy. Shopaew.com.
This one
Yes, that
is
one.
this
There's a
this one
bunch of
has
them
been
right
here
here.
for a bit, but
Yeah,
I do have a lot of new ones. Yeah.
yes. So go to Shop AEW, buy every single shirt, buy the sticker, buy the Shamburger, buy all of it right now. Just go to shopaew.com and support Willow.
Thank
So,
you.
the wrestling world is constantly evolving. And it seems like AEW is at the heart of that. What do you think makes AEW unique, especially in terms of how it's helped you grow as a performer?
I think really the thing that makes us special is that the wrestlers are kind of at the core of it. You know, the thing that makes it special is I'm Willow Nightingale, and I can walk into work and express the way that Willow feels today. And I can have a hand in however I get to present myself and how I get to move forward. And an example like this is a small example that I always bring up. It's like I started learning how to sew when I was on the indies because gear makers didn't get back to me in time, and I wasn't important enough for them to make gear for me when I wanted it. So I learned how to do it myself. But I'm in AEW, and I'm on television, and people would prioritize me and make sure that my gear is done. But I still like having the control of my presentation, and I enjoy sewing and putting that together. And that's just my gear. But at AEW, it's like we can do that on a bigger scale. Like, yeah, we can control the way that we look, but it's also like I go out there and I say what I want. You know, I what you see in front of you is obviously there's a team that helps us refine. We have coaches who teach us how to wrestle better. We have people who help us get the words in our head and how do we say them better. But at the end of the day, Willow is my vision and I get to bring that to you. Um Whoever, Mariah May, for example, our women's world champion, she has a vision and she gets to bring that forward. And I think that's something so beautiful about AEW. And I think that is exactly why we are leading that change.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great stuff. I mean, you look at what AEW's done and it's elevated everybody else around them. And everybody, when you sit there and you watch it on TV, you watch one match and then the match after that steps it up even further and then even further and then even further. And it's like, where can we go from here? And sky's the limit for AEW. And it's exciting to see everything that's happened within, since day one of its inception to where it is currently.
Yeah, that is very cool. Because we're really motivated to, like how you're talking about, like this match is up in this match and that match
Mm-hmm.
and this match. It's so true though that like the feeling backstage is like, yes, this is our job at the end of the day, but like we want to go out there and have a great time and we want to go out there and prove that like we're awesome. Like all of us feel that way. And I think I had that street fight with Statlander and you look at the lineup and you see Pac versus Will Ospreay, and then you think to yourself, I have to go after that.
Mm-hmm.
And,
You're
and
like, how am I going to do this?
before you even see that match, right? You hear it and you're like, oh, that's gonna be good. But then you see it unfold in front of you, and the people are going nuts, and you're standing backstage, you're stretching, you're getting ready, you're getting yourself like, I'm gonna kick this girl's butt, and then you hear the crowd out there going, ah! And you're like, I got to make these people care about me
Mm-hmm.
kicking this girl's butt. And I don't want to say we one up them or anything, but I think we really made people care. And that is something that's so special about AEW is every single match after match, doesn't matter who's in front of you, you're going to go out there and leave it all out. And so when people come to Philly on Saturday, when they come to Collision, that's what they have to see. That's what's in store for them. A locker room full of people just going out there wanting to one up each other. And when you think you've seen something crazy, the people that are next understand the weight of that. They understand and respect wrestling and the fans enough to continue to want to give you a great show.
Yeah, man. I think that's how we just end this show because I mean, you literally just cut like the greatest transition into us talking about Saturday, which by the way, grab your tickets right now, allelitewrestling.com. And normally I say, is there anything you want to say to everybody that's watching or listening to this right now? But I think you just pretty much covered everything right there.
Go to awtix.com. Come see us live. Tune in on TBS on Wednesday nights, TNT on Friday and Saturday nights. Check us out on social media, and let's all have a ball together, right?